Okay, well, welcome back. We've been chatting about several things to do, obviously, with business acquisitions and the transition piece of that. We talked a bit in another video with Brittany about some other services we offer beyond just that immediate transition piece. Andrew and his team also have a bundle of services, and we often get people that want to continue working with Andrew and his team around things like leadership, things like making sure that they have some ongoing programs with their team in terms of making the right decisions about moving people into different roles in the business, moving people into the business and out of the business. So, Andrew, what are some other opportunities we have to work with folks either post the transition phase
Mhm.
or as I mentioned to Brittany, people that have an ongoing business that might be looking at this, they're looking to grow and scale their business through acquisition, but they realize they've got to do some work on the business before they're prepared to do an acquisition and incorporate something in. So for both post transition and for ongoing just going businesses, what are some things that your team can do to support business owners?
Yeah, thank you, David. So, as we're looking at businesses, right, the it's really, really important for the leaders in organizations to lead. One of the things that we find in business is that we have a lot of owner operators. Owner operators are actually in the business, running the business day to day. If you want to grow those businesses or to run multiple businesses, you've got to become more of a owner investor. So that's a big mindset shift that you've got to do. You've got to bring in the right people, the right seats, and to get that done. So as you're looking at leadership, there's a big change when you're looking at that, right? Going away from that owner operator where you're the person that's doing the work into becoming that owner investor where the other people have got to do the work. And one of the things that I tell people as CEOs, your job is to set the vision and then hire the right people and get out of the way. So we actually help owners go through that transition and move to their a lot of leadership training, a lot of mindset shift. Not only just for the leader, but bringing in the right people, right? Understanding who needs to come into the team, who needs to sit in the right seat in the right place. So we actually use some very specific tools. One of the tools that we use is the YOS. We're one of a few people actually in the industry that uses this tool. So the YOS really starts to understand what motivates and drives people. A lot of people talk about motivation. This specific tool that we use actually identifies what motivates individuals and all individuals within the team. So if you know what motivates people, you can inspire them quicker and easier. You can also then identify where the right seat for that individual is. Because if they're motivated to do the work, right, which is the how and the what, if they're motivated, you'll actually see them deliver more work at a higher quality. So we use that particular tool, the why, the how, and the what, the YOS, to identify those people and to understand are they in the right seat, in the right spot, and doing the right work. And then how to grow that individual, right? So again, part of leadership is to grow your team so that you have a good bench. So that's one of the tools we use on why. So understanding them at a deeper level. The other tool we use is DISC. And there's a lot of tools out there that people can use, but I've used DISC over 25 years around the world to lead people. Communication is so my rule around communication is the platinum rule. Treat others the way they want to be treated. So how can you treat people the way they want to be treated if you don't understand them? So we use DISC a huge amount, and we've done this in many, many seminars that we've done around the organizations. I go to companies and we teach people on DISC, understanding who they are, how to communicate. We see huge shifts in people's communication styles in less than a day by using this tool. And it's very, very easy to comprehend. There's only 4 elements to it. And we get a lot of great feedback on this tool, not only for communicating to the team, but I can actually teach people on how to communicate to the customers. We actually just saw, I did one there a couple of weeks ago in a medical industry, and I was actually teaching people how to improve their bedside manner, right? groundbreaking. No, I mean, that's what you should be able to do, right? Treating patients, right? But they weren't. Not only were they not helping their team communicate well, they weren't communicating to patients well, right? And not only patients, but the caregivers as well. So we use, the why and the DISC extensively around understanding motivation, how to move people forward, and how to communicate with them, which is the essence of leadership. Is really to inspire others and can communicate well. And we have those teams, those tools that we use to help that, not only transition, but to develop people. The other thing that we use is, especially in leadership, if you don't know where you're going, how can you expect to get there? Right? So one of the tools that we use is planning. We really dive deep into planning with leaders. Where do you want to go? How do you want to get there? What are the steps that we've got to do to get there? And hold leaders accountable for delivering on those steps. The CEO position is a very, very lonely spot. There's very few people understand the pressure of being an owner investor or a CEO. And realistically, right, like in the army and in the forces, you complain upwards, you don't complain down. It's the very similar in business, right? But as a CEO, who do you get to complain to, right? There's not many you're talking to, right? Maybe it's a small network that you have. But having a trusted advisor that can not only listen to and understand where your business is going, but understand you and how to communicate to you, and have that trusted advisor that you can communicate with and offload some of the troubles of the month or the week or where we're going. We're kind of a business therapist at the end of the day. But we use some of our tools that we do around planning, not only to understand you, but to push you, to drive you forward, right? We find this in a lot of the CEOs is they do like to be pushed, right? Again, to your analogy, you can't see your business because you're in the picture. We're not in the picture. We're outside. We can see the forest for the trees, right? We can understand where you're going and have conversations about, well, what if? What if you did this? What would that do for you? What would do that for the business if you did these other things? So as the services that we're offering around leadership, we're offering planning, we're offering communication, and we're also offering that motivational side and understanding people quicker and faster so that you can inspire them.
Yeah, those are some amazing tools. Thanks for sharing that, Andrew.
I know in my businesses that I own, you've been a part of quite a few of them, and we've had the YOS, and we've had the DISC, the whole team's taken it. And what I was really surprised about is how validated everyone felt when it's like, wow, this is who I am. And they felt not only that they had a better sense of their own identity, but they also learned about their colleagues and then the people who work under us. And we learned how to communicate with them at a higher level. And I think that's huge. And then also all of my different companies and some of these roll-ups have been attending the quarterly planning sessions, and everyone's walking away knowing exactly what they need to do. And as a leader, I've been that lonely owner-operator, owner-investor, CEO many times over. I think I'm still lonely. So if you're still open for therapy, since we're on the couch, but I think it's so powerful to have that type of support, because sometimes this is a very lonely business. And I mean, who do you complain to? Is the plant, God, or maybe Andrew? Like, there's only top three you got. So I just want to say thank you for offering those same services. And what else is really interesting, people like myself who are serial acquirers, we already have businesses, and we go through this process, and we've done this through an acquisition where we did the YOS, we did the DISC, we had the quarterly planning. It's like, why aren't we doing this in all the other companies? So you do offer that. You can go and catch up and do it to all the other companies as well. So yeah, wonderful.